In that, one of the stocks which is on our radar is CenturyPly Boards. Reported the numbers, the third quarter numbers saw margin weaknesses persist. Revenues as well grew about 5.5% odd. The street is worried about demand and the cost of raw materials in this vertical itself. Keshav Bhajanka, who's the Executive Director of CenturyPly Boards, now joins in to discuss the numbers further. Thanks a lot, Keshav, for joining in. You know, usually when we speak to you, the demand environment is pretty good. Margin environment looks robust as well. Turns out this time around not. In fact, you know, if you look at what you had guided for earlier as well, versus where we are at the 9-month mark, you're way off. Do you want to revise your FY24 revenue volume guidance lower and also give us a peek into what FY25 looks like?
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Yes, I do agree that the last quarter in particular has been way off. There were circumstances that, were external, but at the same time have impacted us. I think that the earlier guidance, as you correctly pointed out, does not hold valid, but we are still very optimistic on FY25. Right now, the demand in the building material and ancillary space where we are part of has been subdued. And I think this is likely to continue for, say, another quarter or 2 quarters. However, we have a lot of tailwinds with us, such as the commissioning of the new MDF capacity in Andhra Pradesh that is likely to take place, and the commissioning of the new particle board plant that will take place next year, along with the implementation of BIS in both MDF and particle board from 11th of February this year. So we are very, very hopeful on the next year. This quarter will continue to remain challenging. I think across segments, while we will see growth, but due to raw material pressures, margins are likely to be on the lower side.
All right. Hi, Keshav. Always good to see you in. Well, you're saying that FY25 will be much better. Let's plug in a couple of numbers then. What kind of a revenue growth will you look at for FY24? And for FY25 as well, what kind of a growth are you looking at? And since you said that there is some pressure on margins in the near term, what's the rough number for this year and next?
I would say that, if we focus on Q4, in plywood, we would definitely be looking at a growth, although it won't be a very substantial growth, maybe single digits. Laminates, again, we'll be looking at a single-digit growth. If you look at, I'm talking about year-on-year. If you look at MDF, we would be looking at a very robust growth of 20% plus. And that shows that, the segment, while margin pressure continues, will be doing well. Particle board will be similar because we are at capacity utilization till the new capacity comes in. In terms of margins, plywood will be within our expected range of 12 to 14%. Laminates will be similar to the margins we achieved in Q3. However, there could be a slight negative impact due to the commissioning of the new capacity. As you know, it will take some time to scale up. So till then, you might face certain pressure. MDF and particle board margins do look to be further down. This is due to higher raw material pressure. And hopefully, post the implementation of BIS, we'll be able to take necessary corrections to further push up margins.
All right. So by when do you expect that BIS to come by?
The date is 11th of February, so 6 days from now.
And thereafter, what is the kind of up move that you expect in the margins? Do they go back to your 20 to 25% earlier guided range?
I think, with a lag, yes, they definitely should. Because if you look at it today, as of last quarter, close to 100,000 cubic meters of MDF was imported. And particle board would also be a substantial number. So because of this, going forward, once imports get negated, there will be room for both price revision and there'll be better traction on the ground in terms of demand. I'm hopeful that margins should start moving up from, say, Q1 or Q2 of next year.
Keshav, give us 2 simple numbers. Consolidated revenue growth for FY25 and consolidated margins for FY25.
I think, our objective has always been a strong revenue growth to improve on margins. So it's difficult for me to comment on a consolidated number right now. But like I said, our endeavor will always be to grow sustainably and to do better margins than what we have done in the past.
Okay, Keshav, next time you join us, we won't let you go with that. For the time being, you're giving us qualitative but not quantitative numbers, so that's okay. But the next time we want that number for FY25. You've also hired McKinsey to undertake various changes and, and give you all some inputs. How much money are you all putting, are you all putting on the table for them? I mean, what's the professional fees? And what kind of aspects are you all working on to improve business?
So the McKinsey project is a short-term project. It is towards how to increase premiumization in plywood. as a category, and how to increase the sales of premium plywood. The expenditure would be less than 4 crores, and the bulk of it is already done.
Okay, and what's the incremental benefit that you expect from McKinsey and all the others that you've spoken about with regards to capacity expansion as well? McKinsey is not the only consultant. There are some others as well. So what is this entire exercise going to entail in terms of costs and return that you're looking at in terms of benefits?
So if you look at it, the objective is always going to be on how to premiumize, how to lead to higher volume growth, and how to improve margins. So that is the focus of the consultants. As of now, at this point in time, there are 2 major consultants that were working. One was McKinsey, the second is BCG. And the objective in both was how to take advantage of the trend of premiumization that is likely to come. And secondly, what are the other areas where we can further increase our foothold in our distribution network? So these are the 2 objectives. And both the projects are close to completion. McKinsey has already been completed. And I think we'll benefit from the same in the next financial year.
All right. Final question then, since you're not giving us numbers on the overall basis, your new plants, the laminates plant as well as the MDF plant, which will commence within the current financial year itself. In FY25 at peak utilization, what could the revenue potential of these 2 plants be?
So FY25 will not look at peak utilization, but at peak utilization, the MDF plant is likely to have a turnover anywhere between 750 to 1,000 crores. And the laminate unit is likely to have a turnover of 500 crores plus once all 4 lines are installed. As you know, right now we are only looking at 2 lines becoming operational.
Thanks a lot, Keshav, for joining in. Wish you good luck, and hopefully the demand sentiment resumes post the next couple of quarters of challenges that you foresee as well. We'll talk about more numbers when we speak to you after your 4th quarter results too. With that, we'll slip into a short break, but don't go anywhere. We'll get you more on the markets and individual stocks.